Hi, my name is Paint Farmer, and today I'm going to be talking about Tether and how its existence kind of hypocrisy in the cryptocurrency world. Um, if you're clicking this video, it's probably titled something like Fractional Reserve Tether, and there's a reason for that, and that's because I think that Tether actually uses fractional reserve banking to an extent, and it's kind of hypocrisy. But before I get into what fractional reserve banking is, I kind of want to talk about what Tether is. So Tether is a stablecoin created by FTX and Binance uses it a lot, but they have like BUSD. So the primary player in this is FTX, which is owned by Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm sure I spelled his name wrong. Uh, it's not registered under Bankman-Fried, but he is the guy in charge, and the whole registration is shady as all hell, but that's a whole nother story. Um, you might know FTX is the two creators of Solana. I don't know why that isn't letting me type. Solana, FTX token, and they're one of the biggest players in terms of cryptocurrency exchanges, one of the largest. They also had an ad with Larry David recently on the Super Bowl, which is, something they're trying to enter more, I guess you could say, normie markets. One of the largest exchanges. It's centralized. Um, so that's like who made Tether. What Tether actually does is it's a one-to-one US value currency. One-to-one US value currency used for most liquidity pools or like people that want to like cash out. So like when someone says I've tethered, it just means that they've taken all their money, like all their ETH, and converted it to Tether. I want to actually make a little drawing about that because this is kind of an art channel. I know, I'm an artist. So like it would be you converting all your ETH right here and talk about a nice ETH logo to the US dollar. And that's when people say, oh, I've tethered. Even if they haven't used Tether, some people use DAI. Let me explain what that is in a sec. I just gotta finish this beautiful artwork. God, look at that. That's nice. And DAI is the same thing as Tether. If you want to go into it, it is just backed a different way. So the difference between Tether and DAI, if you know what DAI is, so DAI is another, one-to-one backed token. Is DAI. Another one's USDC, which is owned by Circle, and Circle is owned by Goldman Sachs. For those of you who don't know. Um, And what Circle does and what USDC does is it basically just backs the token one to one, or not one to one, but it backs the dollar with their own like massive fund of US dollars. DAI uses MakerDAO to back their token, and it just uses, basically investments to back DAI. And now you might be asking, how does Tether back their coin? Tether doesn't back one to one, and that's when the fractional reserve part of this comes in. So I know this is all over the place, but I'm getting somewhere, don't worry. Um, Fractional reserve banking, I'm sure you've heard it mentioned. It's a big buzzword. It just means that the banks don't have to have all the money they invest on hand, or they don't have to give you all, like they don't have all the money put into the banking system on hand. They only have a fraction of it. So fraction of the money on hand. And Tether is the same thing. So what Tether is it's a $1 US token. So Tether is equal to $1. However, they only have to back 0.3% of that supply. So if there's like, I don't know, simple math, right? If there's a trillion Tether, they only have to have 0.3% of that as the in like a USD vault. And I know I said 1.3, I meant 0.3. So that way Tether can mint hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So you just print Tether, money printer goes burr, and it's still valued at $1 even though it isn't backed. And this is where the scam part of Tether comes in. That's because Tether can invest all this newly printed money into Bitcoin, but it isn't devalued. So in most cryptocurrencies, you have a pool. Like you could say the pool is between ETH right here and Tether. And if there's more Tether added to the pool, the ETH becomes more valuable. If there's more ETH added, then the Tether becomes more valuable. But the same can't be said for Tether's own value. As long as they maintain the 0.3% ratio, then it has the same value. And that's how Tether is used to just pump Bitcoin a lot by just minting Tether and then throwing it on the Bitcoin. And they do the same thing with Solana. And that's kind of why Tether is a scam. And you'll see things such as, Dai calls it out, UST or Terra really doesn't like Tether and they call it out on the stuff. MIM, which is owned by Spell, is another one. But like that's all for, your own personal research. I just want to enlighten you as to how Tether worked and why it's kind of a scam. And that's really about it. And as short and sweet as I can make it. Sorry, this video is kind of around the place. I have been up for like 30 hours, to be honest with you, and this just came to mind. I hope all of you have a great day. If you like these videos, join my Discord. If you want to help with like programming or whatever, please do. I'm always looking for people, and I love talking with everybody. Otherwise, I hope you guys all have a great day, and, I don't know. Say love you.